Matthew Stafford didn't lose the MVP race because Drake Maye had an easy schedule. He lost because he became the reason his team lost. And for Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, that matters. My name is Nelson. This is the Game Flow Report, and I want to be clear. I'm hard on Matthew Stafford and the Rams because I respect them. When you're a Super Bowl champion, the bar is higher. You don't get excuses for losing to non-playoff teams when you throw 3 interceptions, a wide open potential game-tying throw, and get shut out in the first half. This is less to do with the Rams collapsing and more to do with Stafford letting his MVP dynasty slip through his hands. MVPs don't have to be perfect, but they cannot be the reason their team loses games they should win. That's the standard. Now, here's where the conversation gets interesting. The pushback against Drake Maye is simple. He has an easy schedule, and that argument can matter, but only in context. An easy schedule should be part of the MVP conversation if the stats are inflated without pressure, the quarterback struggles facing elite defenses, and their production drops in high leverage moments. MVPs are expected to elevate their play when the competition rises. If someone dominates weak teams and then disappears against contenders, that's a red flag to me. So yes, strength of a schedule can matter. Here's my counter, and this is where Drake Maye separates himself from me. You don't disqualify an MVP candidate because he handled business, took a massive year 2 leap, and didn't play down to his competition. He didn't just win, he improved. His rookie year, he threw 15 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. This year so far, 30 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. He doubled the amount of touchdowns. That's not because he had a lucky schedule. That's development. Right now, the only teams I see slowing down Drake Maye and New England are the Broncos, who've looked a little shaky the past number of weeks, and the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is playing lights out. If Maye continues producing against this level of competition, the easy schedule argument loses weight fast. Matthew Stafford collapsing didn't just affect the MVP race, it exposed something bigger on the other sideline. And that's this. If the Falcons can beat a team like the Rams, why aren't they in playoff conversation? That's the real question. Atlanta's issue isn't talent, it's alignment. Robinson's stats against the Rams, he had 195 yards rushing, 2 rushing touchdowns, and 1 receiving touchdown. He's not just a good player, he's a franchise-altering player. Kyle Pitts had 1 catch for 5 yards. Drake London had 1 catch for 4 yards. With talented receivers like that, it's unacceptable for that to be their stat line. So the Falcons have a dominant tight end game, a dominant run game, a dominant defense, and I'll say that Drake London is dominant enough to where he can manipulate the defense where Robinson and Pitts can get open. So all this talent and no playoff run, that says everything. The Falcons lack offensive identity. What is this team? Run first, heavy play action, deep verticals? Because if you have players like Bijan Robinson, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts, there should be weeks where defenses feel helpless. But instead, the Falcons look like a team where they're trying to guess who they are week by week. Now we enter the dangerous part, the money. Robinson will get paid. The question is, by who? If Atlanta decides to give him a massive contract, can they also afford Kyle Pitts and Drake London? Can they build the protection around a young QB to hand him off the ball? Can they also stay flexible underneath the cap? Because when you pay a running back top tier money, that forces teams to make difficult decisions everywhere else. And those decisions just became more complicated. Michael Penix Jr. is talented. There's no doubt about that. But his injury history is real. He had college injuries. Now he has NFL injuries in his second year. This puts Atlanta into a tight corner. Do you commit long-term to a QB with durability issues, or do you build an offense that protects him but limits upside? If Penix can't stay healthy, every contract decision around him becomes riskier. This isn't a soft division anymore. The Saints may have found their guy in Tyler Shough. Baker Mayfield started off the season hot and gives Tampa some stability. And somehow the Panthers are leading the NFC South. Not because of Bryce Young. Atlanta doesn't have time to figure it out. They need some urgency, and they need it now. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The Falcons aren't missing players, they're missing clarity. Until Atlanta figures out how they protect their QB, who the offense runs through, and how they allocate money, they will continue to win games and have people say, why aren't they better? And lose seasons where they waste elite talent. The Rams losing to the Falcons did two things. It hurt Stafford's MVP case, but it also exposed Atlanta's ceiling and their confusion. Because beating good teams means nothing if you don't know how to become one. And that's the game flow. My name is Nelson. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you comment down below. What do you think of this year's MVP race? And do you think Atlanta can get their ish together?